What's up everybody, Lucas here. Pay attention, by the end of this video, you will learn 5 ways to escape handcuffs quickly. Now this is a useful skill to have for dire emergencies or a cool party trick to pull off in front of your friends. But you gotta focus. Now before we get started, a quick look into the standard handcuff and how it works. Standard handcuffs use simple ratchet teeth that grab onto a lock bar in order to hold them in place. Now importantly, which the average person doesn't often know about, is the standard handcuffs double locking system. Most standard handcuffs use a double locking system that is engaged by pressing in the double lock slot with the back of the handcuff key. This double locking system does not allow the handcuff to go in any further or be released with a simple clockwise key turn. The key needs to be inserted into the handcuff keyhole, turned counterclockwise until it disengages the double lock bar, and then clockwise until it disengages the original lock bar. Now I am going to show you how to get past both the single and double lock when it comes to escaping handcuffs. However, most of the time handcuffs are just slapped on, which means the double locking mechanism is not engaged. That is why for these first 2 techniques I'm going to share with you, you will learn how to quickly escape handcuffs by just disengaging the single locking mechanism, assuming the double lock has not been engaged. Then I will show you how to escape the double locking mechanism. So let's get started with the first technique, the straight pick. Now to make this easier, it helps to get the handcuffs in front of you. If you have the mobility, you can simply step over the handcuffs as you bring them to the front, but you might have to get down on the ground and roll as so. Now for this first technique, we are going to be using any object we can find that will fit into the keyhole of the handcuffs and press the single lock bar down to disengage the handcuff teeth so they open. Now you can double check and quickly make sure, so you don't waste any time, that the double locking mechanism is not engaged. In order to quickly tell if the double locking mechanism is engaged or disengaged, you can check the side of the handcuffs in the double lock slot. If the double lock slot pin is not depressed, that means the double locking mechanism is not engaged, and all you need to do is disengage the single lock bar. So assuming this pin is not depressed, we continue with this first technique. Now with any small object you can find, paperclip, bobby pin, keychain ring, or my favorite, the temple end of a pair of glasses. Anything that you can find that's small enough yet solid that can fit into the keyhole of the handcuffs will do the trick. Now all you need to do is put a slight bend into the object that you're going to use to stick into the keyhole. It does not have to be a perfect 90-degree angle. Even a slight hook will do. You can bend this by sticking it in the keyhole and then pushing it to the side of the handcuff. Now in order to disengage the single lock bar, you want to go up to the top of the keyhole. Keeping the object in the upper part of the keyhole, you want to pry it towards the center of the handcuff and then pry downwards in order to grab and disengage the single lock bar. It might take a little wiggling around, but with a little bit of practice, disengaging the single lock bar with this simple technique is actually extremely easy. Now it really helps to understand the mechanics of the handcuffs, so hopefully my explanations really help you understand how easy it is to pick the single lock. Something that can help even further is seeing it firsthand in front of you by using one of these practice see-through double locking handcuffs. I'll leave my Amazon affiliate link in the description, so if you want to buy one, you can check that out too. Technique number 2, shimming. This technique is super fast and really easy to do, but it can only be applied if the double locking mechanism is not engaged. Now a small object just like before, a bobby pin, possibly a paperclip depending on the size, or even potentially something plastic for this hack. You want to find something that will fit between the body of the handcuff and the ratchet teeth. Push that object in the space between the body of the handcuff and the ratchet teeth all the way until it stops. Wiggle it around a little bit just in case it's stuck on one of the teeth. If you're certain you have stopped and you can't go any further, that is because you have reached the single lock bar of the handcuffs. Now you want to get this object in between the teeth of the single lock bar and the handcuff itself. In order to do that, you can continue to push, but if it is not going, you can pull the object out and put a slight bend in the tip of the object so it can bend up right when it reaches the end and get over those teeth. Now once the object slides further, this most likely means you have depressed the single lock bar, disengaging the teeth. Now try to push your object in at least an inch so that the teeth don't grab on your way out, but then you can simply pull the handcuffs open. Shimming, you are free. For these following techniques, we can assume the double locking mechanism has been engaged. Uh-oh, you're in trouble. No, you're not. With these techniques, you can escape too. Number 3, the double lock pick. For this technique, you want to grab an object just like before. Now in order to disengage this double lock, you're going to want to get to the bottom of the keyhole. It can be a tighter space, so that is why an object like a bobby pin might be a better choice for you, because a bobby pin is slightly flatter and can get into those tight spaces. If you're using a bobby pin, just be sure to take that goo off before you stick it in there. Just use your finger. Use the handcuff keyhole in order to help you pry this pin into the proper shape. Sticking the bobby pin into the keyhole slightly, just a couple millimeters. I bend the bobby pin to about 90 degrees, then I stick it in further and I bend it the other way. This puts a little L shape in the tip of my bobby pin. You want to insert that L shape you just made towards the side bottom of the keyhole and swivel it until it's inside. Then wrap this around down the keyhole in a counterclockwise manner towards the center of the body of the handcuffs. If you feel something grab and then move, this is most likely the double lock bar and you have just disengaged the double locking mechanism. Now in order to see if you're successful or not, once again, you can check the side of the handcuff and you can look in the double lock bar slot to see if the double lock bar pin is still depressed or not. If the pin is not depressed, you are successful and you can move on using either technique 1 or technique 2 showed in this video. And there you have it, you just got past the double locking mechanism in modern handcuffs. Moving on to technique number 4, carrying a spare handcuff key on you. Now before you're like, man, really? No, seriously, you can either get a spare handcuff key and carry it with you in your pocket, on your keychain, in your phone case, your wallet, or you can do something more concealed. I wouldn't recommend duct tape, more like a band-aid. Placing the handcuff key in the band-aid can hide it from suspicion. You can also think about disguising your handcuff key as any decorative piece to your clothing. From earrings to shoelaces to zippers. The possibilities to escape are endless. Now remember, just to review, if the double locking mechanism is engaged, you want to insert the key and turn it counterclockwise first until it disengages the double locking mechanism, and then all the way clockwise until you disengage the single lock bar to release yourself from the handcuffs. Finally, number 5, when all else fails, your last resort, the break free. Now this one is kind of harsh, but if it's life or death, you gotta do what you gotta do. For this technique, you actually want to break your handcuffs. A good place to start is trying to pry apart the double strand and break the rivet at the top of the handcuffs in order to escape. Find something solid to shove between the double strand and twist and pry until the handcuff breaks. I don't recommend practicing this technique. It's kind of a last resort, and it will not work if you can't withstand the pain or don't have the strength. With those techniques you have just learned, remember, practice makes perfect, so it does help to practice these techniques so that you can be quicker and more precise. Also, something to think about when you're practicing, practice with the keyholes up, down, to the side, also with your hands facing inwards, outwards, mixed and matched, so that you can be ready for any scenario. Let me know in the comments some more skills you guys are interested in learning, and I will do my best to make videos on those in the future. So stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe and turn those notifications on. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your positive support and feedback. I hope you all have a great day. Peace. I will see you all in the next video.